Welcome back to another episode of Living for His Glory. I'm with an amazing dude I've gotten to know this semester, Luke Boswell. He is my new roommate this semester, and it has been a very fun semester with him. Him having to deal with my messiness. He is a standout guy. I've really enjoyed getting to know him, and he is an excellent man of faith, which I was really excited, and I learned that back in January when I moved in with you. When I officially moved in and got my things together, it was after you had moved out for winter, and I came in. I was like, I don't know this guy. I see some baseball stuff. Maybe he's on the baseball team. And I looked over in the closet. I was like, that's a Tennessee hat. Oh man.
We all have our flaws, bro.
We all have our faults. You know, one of your things that you probably think I'm at fault for is being a Cats fan.
I agree.
That's all up to interpretation at that point.
I agree.
But yeah, it's been really good getting to know you, getting to talk with you, and just hearing a lot of your wisdom and seeing how you show up as a man of faith, as somebody that's a religion major studying ministry and wanting to go into that, and you're going into that as well, even though your major's on the business side of it.
Yeah.
It's really been encouraging and inspiring to me, especially just this semester. It's been a difficult one for me. And having a guy like you that I don't just get to talk to, but also see as he lives out his faith, as he engages with it, as he engages with others and leads others, it's really incredible. It was just yesterday morning where you got me up at 7 a.m. to go and lead us in this big prayer for an hour before I had to get to my 8 a.m. And that was really cool. I've gone through the Lord's Prayer, and then you asked me to recite it. I thought this was cool. And I was stumbling because A, it's early, and B, I was kind of moving through it, right? And then the next thing you say is sometimes like we get this guy on the team, and he does it before every game, but it's da-da-da-da-da, and you don't even really get to understand it. And I'm like, shoot, I just did that.
Yeah.
I just tried to get through it instead of enunciate it, think about it, pronounce it. And I was like, man, like I'm all automatically showed up 2 minutes in. I'm being asked to get better. And I loved it, man. It was really, really good. And so the way you show up as a leader, I think that this is going to be a great episode, and I'm really excited for it.
Dude, thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
First time ever on podcast, but hey, I get told that I'm a professional yapper, so
That's good.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited.
I am
really
too.
excited about this.
I am too. First time ever on a podcast. That's
First
good.
time.
That's good. I'm glad to be your first.
Let's go.
So you're on the baseball team here. You're a senior, so you're on your way out in the middle of the season right now. When does your season end?
Season ends. Conference tournament will start May 1st, but we look really good right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping like season will end in June. But conference tournament is over like May the 6th, I think. If you don't win conference tournament, you don't advance. But hopefully we play good over the next stretch of 3 weeks to where we can get a regional bid. And that way we don't have to worry about winning conference tournament. But we'll just see what happens. But yeah, we're right smack dab in the middle of it. Over the halfway point, but not like 75% of the way there.
Yeah.
But got like a month left, so it's going good.
It's good. Yeah, absolutely. And how's your arm? How's your arm doing? I know because there's some things you haven't been able to play much this semester. Just got some things going with the elbow, was it?
Yeah, my shoulder.
Your shoulder.
Yeah.
Got you. I ask about that for a reason, not to get whatever, but just because I know the kinds of struggles that has gone through your head in this time, just talking with you and hearing you pour into other people and using that. And that's a scary thing. This is the sport that you love, the sport you grew up playing, sport you came here to do. I know you transferred in, a couple years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And now all of a sudden it's senior year. It's basically the end of the competitive line, other than whatever rec leagues you do in the future. And it's like, man, my season is getting derailed. And there's so many parts of our life that just gets derailed by things we don't expect. And I'm going to ask you, just using some experience with those feelings around that, you can get into those feelings. You can just talk about what you've been learning through the process, what it's been meaning for you as you continue to show up. Because one thing I know about you is you continue to show up faithfully for your team, whether you're on the mound throwing or whether you're just in the dugout giving high fives, encouraging your teammates, building them up. Just get into that a little bit, what's been going through your brain, and how you've been staying focused on God in the middle of these external trials.
Yeah. So let's give you a little bit of backstory. Started playing baseball when I was 5, fell in love with it, played basketball too as I was growing up. All throughout high school, played basketball as well. All the way up to my senior year. Your boy's not tall enough to play college basketball. Wasn't good enough either. I was good enough to be a 6'3" post player that just beat up on people every Friday night at a basketball game. But absolutely fell in love with the game of baseball. It's so much fun, and it's such a competitive sport because it's a game of failure. No other sport's kind of like that. Like baseball, if you do good 3 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer, and not many sports are like that. If you're a 30% free throw shooter, you suck. But if you bat 300 in baseball, you're pretty good.
Yes, you are.
So that's what's so fun about the game. I fell in love with it at a young age just because it pushed me and it challenged me, and I loved it. And so I started pursuing it very heavily as I got into high school, those sort of things. I faced some trials there, trying to work my way onto varsity, those sort of things. Like I didn't start playing varsity baseball until halfway through my sophomore year. So freshman year, I didn't really play varsity baseball at all, just on the JV squad. Junior year, I was really good. Senior year, really good. And then my first 2 years in college, I went to Bethel University for 2 years. I was a weekend starter from day one since I stepped on campus at Bethel. They recruited me to be a guy, like a dog. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a dog. And I was a dog.
Hey.
First year, I shoved, like really good. Second year, shoved even harder, like so much better, just pitching really well. And then I transferred my sophomore summer. Out of nowhere, Bethel posted something that they were cutting 10 professors and 4 sports teams in one day because of financial issues. And I was like, all right, I got to get out of here. I was like, God, where do you want me to go? And so I started sending out tons of emails, and Trevecca reached out to me, a pitching coach. He was like, hey, I like your stuff. I want to watch you pitch. I was like, all right, let's do it. So he came, watched me throw, loved it, offered me some money. I was like, I don't know if that's enough. And I don't know, bro. Should I just stay? Should I go? I don't know what to do. And I've been praying about it a lot. And then I was like, all right, if you give me X amount more money, like I had this text literally typed out. Like if you give me, I don't know, let's say it was 8, I don't remember the number, but let's just say it was $3,000. If you give me $3,000 more, I'll come. And then he sent me a text as I'm typing that out. I was like, hey, I can get you $3,000 more. The exact number that I was asking for instantly in a text message. I was like, yep.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding, bro. It's God, bro. That was God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an only God moment.
That was a God moment.
Wow.
So I come here in the fall, and my junior fall here at Trevecca was the absolute best pitchy performance I've ever had in my life. Like I was lights out every time I touched the mound, throwing harder than I ever have. Off speed's better than it's ever been. Confidence is through the roof. Like I made so many mechanical changes and just trusted the process. Like I went backwards before I went forwards. So like velocity wise, I got here on campus 86 to 89, and then I fell down to 84, 86. And coach was like, hey, you just got to trust me, bro. So I will. And then the last outing I had, I was 88, 90 the whole time. So like I had to go backwards before I could go forwards. That was tough, navigating that. Okay, do I really trust the process? What's the point of this? And then it all worked out. And then over winter break, went home. In the spring, I came back, started noticing that my arm didn't feel the greatest. I just felt slow, that sort of thing. And then out of nowhere, my elbow started hurting. I was throwing in a game, threw really the first 3 innings, and out of nowhere, during a warm-up pitch, I threw one. It was like stinging in my elbow. And I was like, that ain't good. But I was like, no, we're going to keip going. It's the best I've thrown all year. I'm still going. So I was like, get this guy out. Get this guy out. So I get a guy out. And I'm like, all right, get this next guy. Then you can tell him to come get you. And I gave up a hit. And I was like, just get the next guy. Then tell him. And I just kept throwing. It kept stinging. They thought it was tricep. Took up a couple days off. And then started throwing again. And then 2 weeks later, it got to the point it hurt so bad that I had to go see a doctor. Turns out, tore my UCL. Had to have surgery on my elbow my junior year. So I had surgery on my elbow. So I had to rehab from April all the way to the end of December when I was finally released to pitch, like in a game starting January 1st. So I rehabbed through that. Process is tough mentally. You literally start off in PT taking your hand and just pushing it into a wall and then releasing and pushing into a wall and releasing. It's like, dude, I'm never going to get to throw. Here I am like this. I'm never going to get to throw. But you just trust the process, and then you keep going, finally get to throw in the spring. First couple outings is great. And then I threw up my very first outing in a real game outside of spring season. It was against Georgia Southwestern. I came in, threw insanely well. Next weekend, not that great. Next weekend, not that great. My shoulder started to hurt. I started throwing through it. And then it got to the point where every single day, like I threw against Tuscum, and the next day, like the backside of my shoulder, I could feel it all day long, just stinging nonstop. I was like, this ain't good. So I had to go see somebody, told me I had a torn labrum. So I haven't touched the ball in a month and a half. And then today I finally get to throw. But I've so many emotions going through that, bro. Like last year, the thought of I might not ever get to throw a baseball again, I did cross my mind. Like, it's over. And then now this season, get a torn labrum, and the thought that it might be over again has crossed my mind. You might not ever get to play another collegiate game. And what's so heartbreaking to hear that, but I've found joy in that, knowing that's not my purpose. A lot of times we get our purpose and our calling completely mixed up. Right now, my calling in life is to play baseball, but that's not my purpose. The purpose for me coming here was never for me to be good at baseball. It was for me to be in a new community, a new environment where I could experience God in a way like never before. And then him have an impact on me to the point where I want to go have impact on people and show the love of Jesus through baseball, through community, whatever it might be. If it wasn't for me getting injured, my eyes would have never been open, and I still would have been stuck in the same loophole and have my whole life centered around a baseball instead of centered on Jesus. And that's what's crazy is it took something like me getting hurt for my eyes to be open. And I think a lot of times we're not aware of the things that are going on in front of us until we take a step back. So I'm very grateful that happened, even though it sucks that I didn't get to play, and it sucks that like I've only had 2 real years of baseball, but like I've never been so grateful for that. Like I never would have dreamed if you told me my senior year of high school, hey, you're only gonna get to play 2 real years of baseball, that I'd be like, okay, cool. But like now, bro, I'm like, hey, baseball ain't that big a deal, bro. It's D2 baseball. Not that many people care, if I'm being completely honest with you. Let's cut it, call it how it is, bro. But I've found so much joy because I found the Lord through these things. And so it's really opened my eyes, and I've learned a lot. Learned what it means to be a good teammate. I used to not be a good teammate, like if I'm being completely honest with you. Like I would be good teammate when I'm doing good, but if I'm not doing good, like low-key would prey on people's downfall sometimes. Man, like I want him to do good, but not as good as me because I want to be number one. Like that type of thing. And it was not healthy. It was not good. But I finally learned what it means to be a good teammate. And then when you're a good teammate, bro, that's how you show people love. There's no better way to pour into people than show them that you love them. So I've learned a lot, bro. A lot of emotions, for sure. Highs, lows, middle grounds, a lot of questions. But it's all worked out, and it's all so dope, bro. Just to watch God move in unbelievable ways.
Yeah. What was your faith like before the injury?
Before the injury?
Yeah.
What's crazy? So my freshman year, I would go to church on Sunday, no small group, no Bible. Like that thing was just collecting dust. Like I got saved when I was 12, but I was not following Jesus. I was a fan, not a follower. And so I was a fan of Jesus, knew who he was, all that sort of thing, but I did not know how to follow him. So freshman year, just doing my own thing. Sophomore year comes around, doing my own thing, and then I had an identity crisis without knowing it. My whole world revolved around baseball. My identity was baseball. Because my sophomore spring season rolls around, I'm throwing through the first 4 or 5 weekends. Like I'm probably one of the top 10 pitchers in the nation. Like straight up. I'm shoving. I'm him.
This is a term I'm learning, shoving.
Yeah,
Never heard
shoving,
this
doing
before.
good. That's shoving it down their throat. Like that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
New term.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm a big baseball guy now, you know.
There you go.
I'm learning.
Yeah, bro, you've been swinging, bro. Been working on that form. But
Going to the league.
yeah, so I'm shoving through the first 5 weekends, become one of the best pitchers in the nation. Through the first couple of weekends, I'm like, all right, this is going to be my breakout season. This is it, that sort of thing. Then the number 3 team in the nation comes to Bethel. I'm like, this is my I'm him moment right here. I'm going to show him who's boss. And so they come into town, and you know what your boy does? Yeah, it gives up 12 runs in 3 innings.
Man.
Yeah, not my him moment. Completely opposite.
Yeah.
The biggest humble moment I've ever had in my life. Then right there on that field. I'm talking, I would throw a ball this far outside. They'd hit a bomb. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And so what happened is I found myself crying in my room for the next 6 hours. Like straight up, I'm be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
like,
I've been there.
I'm not a runner. I went on probably like a 3-mile jog. I probably ran 20 sprints that night. I was just trying to make the thought of, because once that happened, I felt like I was worthless and not loved, and that I let people down and all these sorts of things. And I was trying to make the pain go away. Like I was trying to hide. I was trying to run from it, literally run from it. And it wasn't working. And I was like, dang, bro, what am I supposed to do? I don't understand what's going on. I'm sitting there in my room crying. Lord touched my heart and was like, bro, look at you. You are crying over a 5-ounce white ball. Like your whole world is shattered right now because you have centered it on something that is one day going to disappear.
Yeah.
Your identity is in this and not in me.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I was like, dang, you're right. So I put my identity back in him. I was like, all right, I'm trying to figure this out. So I started reading my word more, started praying more, started seeking after him. And then one of the guys back home, his name's Peyton, he's a kids pastor at our church, was like, hey, can I disciple you? And I was like, sure, let's do it. I don't know what that means, but let's do it. So we'd meet once a week for 2 hours. He taught me what it meant to follow Jesus, bro. Straight up. He taught me how to read the word, taught me how to pray, taught me how to talk to other people, taught me how to share the gospel, taught me how to make other disciples. And it was so dope. And through that process, I learned what it meant to follow Jesus, have a relationship with him, and then how to bring other people into that and teach them as well. And so like that literally 180 in my life because of that. And it was so dope. So I'm following Jesus my junior year, started D group on campus. It's going good. It's going great. Season starts. What happens is once season starts, my eyes shift from Jesus to baseball again. If I'm being honest with you, like we had a D group going and then it fell apart because season started. And I was like, hey, it ain't no big deal. It is what it is. I'm still trying to follow Jesus whenever I can instead of it being the only priority in my life. And then I get hurt. And once I get hurt, it's like, oh man, like, what am I supposed to do? But I was getting to the point where I prayed a very scary prayer one day of, all right, God, like, I know I'm not doing my best in my faith. I'm not walking with you the way I should be. Like, I don't understand what's holding me back. But if it's baseball, hold me back from walking with you and meeting my full potential that you have for me, then take it away. And then 2 weeks later, bam, there goes the elbow. And so that happened, and I was really upset. Dang, bro, I'm not going to get to play. But then the thought of that prayer popped into my head, and it was like, dang, like, you asked for it, not to get hurt, to make sure you're living for his glory, for the ultimate way. And if it took something being removed for you to go and do that, then it was worth it. Yeah. Because there's nothing more fulfilling in life than living for him. So it took him removing that for me to fully trust him. And so then as I battled through that, it was good. Had some moments where I was like, God, why? If I'm being honest with you. But he always revealed, like, bro, you want to grow closer? I'm giving you opportunity. Take it. Mm-hmm. There's a reason behind this. You don't see it, but I'm in control. So I learned that so much through that injury process. And this injury process has been not as like heavy as the last one was, because I've been through one already. I know that he's in control. I know that there's a bigger purpose, and I've been trying to seek it every day instead of me sitting and sulking about not getting to play baseball. 'Cause I'm getting college paid for, not completely, but like I'm getting college paid for. I'm at a great campus surrounded by great people in a great city. And here I am complaining because I don't get to go out and compete. I don't realize how good I have it. And my purpose was never for me to be good at baseball. That was never my purpose. My purpose was to share the love of Jesus. And so I've learned that. And through this process, I've learned how to do it even more and like how to be there for people, how to lead people better than I would have if I was distracted by baseball. Yeah. So it's been really cool.
How are you showing up like that as a leader on your team? Senior, the guys here, they haven't really seen you much just because you've dealt with so much injuries the last little over a year now.
Yeah.
So they don't really get to see the Luke Boswell, like the competitor, the dog, the guy. Yeah. Just haven't been given the opportunity to see that. So how is it that you show up that gives that they see this guy's a leader, this guy has our backs, this guy, he's helpful in the locker room. He helps us win games even though he's not actually out there directly contributing. How are you showing up differently for them now versus maybe how you did before the injuries?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think one of the hardest things to do is to get into a leadership position. People don't just drift into a leadership position, like you earn it, right? And so it's very hard trying to become a leader when you're not getting to play on the field. Like you don't get to prove yourself, because a lot of times people say, hey, I want to be a leader, but it's hard if you're not performing like one of the best guys on the team. Because a lot of times it's usually your best performers that become your leaders on the team, but you end up finding out that they're not the best leaders. A lot of people love performance, but that's not what carries a team far. The culture is what carries a team far. And so I started to realize that over the summer of, hey, I'm not going to get to pitch at all during this fall. So my number one goal is to be the biggest encourager and the absolute best leader I can possibly be. So whether it's helping people out, talking to them, hey, bro, I know you're struggling, but here's what I think you should do, or hey, I'm here to help, like I'm here to listen, those sort of things. There's two things you can control every day, and that's energy and effort. And so my goal every single day is to bring energy and have fun, like when I come to the field. How can I get these guys to want to be here, even if they don't want to be here? Because that's true in any sport, any job, anything you do in life. There's going to be days where you don't want to be there. And it's how can we get them to like enjoy the moment and be grateful of where you're at each and every day. So by coming to the field and saying, God, I'm here for a purpose. What do you want me to do today? And it's just, as I'm walking down to the field, I tell myself, all right, bring energy, bring your effort, talk to these guys, cultivate relationships, and just hype them up. Hype them up, bro. And that's all I've been trying to do. And last year was not the same. Last year it was me centered. Every day it was, okay, what does Luke need to do today? How can Luke get better? How can Luke play more? Versus now it's, how can I push this team to be the best they possibly can be? And Luke's out of the picture because I don't get to play. So I just think about them rather than me every single day. Okay, yes, I have my stuff I want to do. There's days where I'm lazy, if I'm being honest. Like I go down there, I do nothing and I don't talk to people. And I leave and I'm like, bro, you just missed an opportunity. Like you did. Like you have to lock in because every day counts. Every day matters. It's not an off day. You have to treat every single day of practice like you do a game. You have to bring the energy at practice because then it converts to a game. And so just keeping them like on my heart and on my mind instead of myself is where I've completely changed as a leader. Like every day going to practice, it's I need to be there for these guys. I need to bring energy for them, not for me. And so it's really cultivated my mind and just the way I see things, see the team.
Yeah.
So it's really cool, especially on game days. I love game days. Yeah. I stand in the same spot and try to be the loudest guy the entire game.
Yeah.
Because energy and like fun, it's what do you call it? Shoot, it's contagious.
It's contagious.
It's so contagious. If you can just bring it, bro, people will catch on.
Yeah.
And so if you can do that at practice, and hey, let's have fun today. Let's cut up. Like it's not that serious. Let's be for real. It is, but it's not. It's baseball. We're grown men playing a kid's game.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Let's do it.
And so if we can cultivate that and push them, but hold them accountable at the same time, you know, that's where I find myself a lot of times, and that's what's it's so dope, bro.
Yeah. I'm really curious about your approach here because it's something that I'm trying to get better at. I'm trying to get better as a leader. I bring energy. You know this. I'll talk, I'll laugh, I'll have fun. But especially if I see a teammate down or they look like they don't want to be here, I don't always know how to approach. So let's just say I quit golf. I quit golf completely. Sign up for the baseball team. Coach is like, you know what? We'll give you a shot, right? I got my cap on. I got the jersey. I got my belt. I got my cleats. I got my glove. I've got the stuff. I got a little bit more training from Luke Boswell in the room. I feel ready. And Miles. Can't forget Miles. If he found out that I forgot about him, he'd lose his mind. Yeah. He'd be so offended. In a couple weeks, I'm training, I'm practicing, I'm trying to catch up with the guys, trying to figure out how everything is working. All of a sudden, you see me, I pull up to practice, a little quieter than normal. All of a sudden, it's just, his shoulders are a little bit more slumped. They're not as back. That signature smile is not there. It's there, but it's more forced. He's not laughing as much. He's not, you start thinking, it's quiet today. Where's that annoying kid? Yeah. Where's Lucas? Where's that dumb laugh he has? What is your approach to that? Yeah. To a teammate that is exhibiting those behaviors?
Yeah. I think the first thing that you realize is it's okay to not be okay. And you're going to have days where you don't want to be there. And so I usually give a little grace. If I see somebody down one day, I'm like, okay, like he's down today. We'll just see if it's a day thing. But if it comes 2 or 3, that's when I say something. Because it becomes contagious as well if we're not careful. One guy can turn to 2, can turn to 3. Next thing you know, we have 5 guys that don't want to be there and are pouting because they're not getting to play. And then that's when your culture shifts the wrong direction. You can't have that. And so I like to give them a little grace of, okay, like he just had a bad day, had a long day, that sort of thing. But 2, I think we have to realize you can't lead people until you have a relationship with them. And so it's so obvious to be like, okay, I've hung out with this guy. I see his body language is down. But I don't know his name. I don't know where he lives. I don't know where he's from. I don't know what he likes to do. I've talked to him once. Like, it's hard to hold somebody accountable and lift somebody up when you don't know them. So you have to cultivate relationship with everybody on the team slowly over time. And then once you have earned the right to hold them accountable, then you can hold them accountable. Like you have to earn that. It's not something that is done overnight. Sorry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's a day in, day out. Hey, I'm here for you. I care about you and I love you. And showing that to somebody every single day, and when they're down and you can come up beside them and be like, hey, let me talk to you, and then explain where you're coming from. Explaining the why is one of the big things too. A lot of times people be like, bro, come on, cheer up, let's go. And then that kind of just pisses you off a little bit, bro. Like you don't even know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But showing that you can relate to them, like, bro, like I understand where you're coming from. I know you're upset that you're not getting to play. I know you're upset that you're not seeing the results you want to see. But this team needs you to show up today more than you realize, because you have such an impact on this team without realizing. You affect this guy and you affect that guy, and they're watching you. And if you don't step up and lead them, then who's going to? I need you to be a leader for them today. I need you to put everything else aside and just be you for today. If it's putting up a fake front, it's putting up a fake front. Let's fake it till you make it through today, and let's figure out how can we get back to our green light mentality. Because today you feel like a red light. I need you to get back to green. Act like yellow today, then let's get back to green. I just need you to push through for these guys and put yourself to the side. And that's what you have to do. Is it's about we every single day. It's not about me. That's what's so hard about college sports these days, and with the transfer portal and everything is, and just life in general, is it's all about me, all about me, all about me. So if you can get a group of 40 dudes to change their mindset of it's not about me, it's about we, you go so far.
Yeah.
Because you have 40 dudes banded together of, hey, we're in this together. That's what's so cool is I've seen so many dudes on this team not touch the field and then bring energy and effort every single day. And it is so fun to be around those guys. They're not going to touch the field. Like, they'll tell you that to your face. They're like, yeah, I'm not playing. But they want to be there, and they're happy, and they're excited, and they bring energy because they know their role. And it's so cool to watch that. And then it's, okay, now you have other people that you can help push those guys when they're down. But yeah, I think establishing a relationship, giving them a little bit of grace, and then giving them a little bit of encouragement and accountability, and just shifting their perspective off of me to we, that's how you get them going in the right direction. That's how you cultivate a winning culture.
Yeah, that's huge. I hear you talk, and I'm like, I'm seeing where all this has played out in my own college career. Like, seriously, if I could have, man, I wish somebody told me, and I should have known this, it feels like common sense. Coming freshman year, it's like you build a relationship with those guys instead of just come out here. And we start our season basically as soon as we get back on campus.
Yeah.
So, we step on campus, we go through orientation week, boom, it's here. Weather's good. We got our first tournament in a couple weeks. I think our first tournament was in Montevideo. We're qualifying. I qualified as the 5-man, I think, for our first tournament. Yeah, it's 5-man. I took the spot over our sole senior by a shot. So I went to this tournament, shot 2 under 69 the first day, followed up the next day with a 12 over 83. I was upset. It was bad. But I had this edge to me and this ego and this thought that I was the guy. I was going to be the dog. I was going to be the guy that made this team great, because the last few seasons before I came, they were not great. They weren't anything like expectations. My senior year, my high school team, we were runners-up in the state championship. So I know what it's like to be competitive. I know what it's like to be in those moments. I was like, I'm gonna teach these guys what it's like to be in those moments. It's literally the thought that went through my head. What egotistical son of a gun, right? I think about that now, and I'm like, what were you thinking? 18-year-old kid with too much of an ego. And it's all just so me-focused. And I phrase it in a way that I can help the team with this. But man, it was all about my glory. It's all about me being the one guy, me taking somebody else's spot and going to tournaments. That was all I cared about, winning these tournaments. And man, my relationship with my teammates was destroyed very fast. It was destroyed before it was ever created. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time making that up. It takes a lot of time to make up that ground. I took the rest of my freshman year. And this is my 6th semester here. I think it's the first semester where I have not at any point so far wanted to transfer or thought about transferring. I've thought about it at least at some point these other 5 semesters that I've been here. And it really is because, and it's not like I've been going to every tournament. I missed the first 2 this semester. And like by a slim margin too. I didn't just shoot myself in the foot out of it. Like I barely missed it. And so it's not that I've just been playing super well and like, oh yeah, I want to stay because I'm playing. It's really the guys that are going ahead of me. Good for them. Let's go to these tournaments and let's play. Let's show these teams and let's show whatever committee puts together everything else that we're a decent team and that we can go out and compete. And so just being here, having to stay here, I spent from mid-September to mid-March, so 6 months not playing a single tournament. That was tough. Like I missed 5 tournaments in a row. Like just brutal stuff. That's half our season. That's just over half our season right there. And it was just so easy for me to be in a me mindset. Because I went to our first tournament this year in September. I qualified as the 1-man. I finished as the 1-man. Missed 2 days I practiced for a wedding. Coach didn't take me to our next tournament. And it messed with my brain. I started playing real bad. Didn't deserve to go to the other 2 tournaments that semester. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was just so me-minded. Of like, why can't I go to the tournaments? I was the guy. For 5 days for let's say for 2 weeks of the season, I was the one guy, and all of a sudden I'm not playing anymore. What in the world happened? And now getting closer with my teammates, and I'm like, I want them to succeed. Like even in qualifying, where it's like, hey, you got to beat these guys if you want to go to a tournament. So it is a dog eat dog world environment, but I still want them to play well. Because there's honestly no glory in defeating an opponent that doesn't play well. There's no real, that's not competitiveness at its core. I'm like, but even when I'm competing against them, I would rather me coming on top. I'd rather go to the tournament. You know what I mean? But it really is, if they go and if they beat me, then they deserve to go. And like I'll be happy for them. I'll be sitting in class watching the live scoring, seeing, and if they're doing well and they go and they show up and shoot 2 under, I'm like, yeah, you know what? He should have gone over me. Yeah. If he's two under, I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And that was just not my mindset going into college. I was like, shoot, if he goes over me and he plays better than me, well, I guess coach was right and I wasn't the guy after all. And I felt like I should have been, right? But now it's just, how can we as a team get better? And we have gotten really close as a team to a point that we really love and care about each other. And it's honestly been really cool to see and really cool for me to be a part of. This is the first semester it felt like I've been a part of the team, even though this is the year where I've probably played the least amount of tournaments. Yeah. I've played the most tournaments. I played 4 or 5 my freshman year, that same thing sophomore year. And then right now we've got our home tournament and then we have conference tournament, 2 more. And I've only played 2 so far. So it's a struggle bus in terms of me going, but I've never felt more connected with my team and that we were better gelled. Yeah. And that's just everything. I'm just thinking about hearing you talk about being a good teammate, rooting for each other. Like no matter what, you're injured, I'm not. Like you show up to practice knowing you're not going to play. I show up, I'm thinking that I can and I don't. And just 2 different animals because at least I've got an opportunity. Yeah. You don't have the opportunity. And just the 2 different types of disappointment that go into that, overcoming those, put the team above yourself. And what is Jesus' love if not loving someone so much that you put their own needs above your own? Like this meets so much pride. And that's just something that we as a world have to overcome, pride.
Dude, pride's so hard, but like at the end of the day, if your team wants to win the GSC title, GSC championship, what would the article read? What would it say?
I don't know. Trevecca Trojans wins the GSC championship.
Did it ever say Lucas Barrett wins the GSC championship?
Not in the headline.
Exactly.
Never will in the headline.
Never will. It's all about the team. It's all about the we.
Yeah.
And so we have to keep that in mind as leaders. That's the goal as a leader, is you're cultivating people towards a goal, towards a vision, towards a mission.
Yeah.
And if you start making it about my agenda, my this, my that, it's not going to push you towards your goal. It's going to derail the whole mission. Yeah. And then that's whenever you see things go south really quickly. So it's just keeping our eyes on the task at hand. And like you said, bro, that's Jesus, bro. Like others before yourself.
Yeah.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. The second is equal, just as great. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Like literally love him, love others. You come last.
Yes.
Hate to be that way, but that's truth. That's where we've gotten it wrong, is we put ourselves first. And then I started learning as a leader how to put myself last and put others before me. And dude, it's been hard. It's been humbling. But watching it like play out and work, it's like, whoa, Jesus was right.
Yeah.
Just keep following that. So I encourage you to do that, bro.
Absolutely. That's what we show up and we do, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Man. So beyond just the encouragement, we talked about being on the field, being at practice. If you see it, then you wait. If it shows up another day, then eventually you get there. What kind of stuff off the field goes on? Now, you guys are on the field at this point a lot, like hours at a time. Baseball, like golf, is just a long game. It's called America's pastime for a reason. Pastimes take forever.
Yeah.
When you get off the field and you guys may be hanging out, maybe at the calf, you may be at someone's apartment, wherever, like, what was you mentioned earlier that you had to build a relationship with them, and that just takes time.
Yes.
What kind of steps do you go through? A lot of people, they don't know how to build relationships. Yeah. I went through, when I was first looking about how do I build relationships, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to connect to people. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky. I went to a private high school where most kids looked like me, came from similar
Yeah.
financial backgrounds. Come to college, and we're no big SEC school by any means, but there's still a lot of different types of people from a lot of different types of places, from a lot of different types of backgrounds, a lot of different kinds of struggles and worldviews and perspectives. And all of a sudden, I didn't know what to do with myself. So speaking to somebody that could resemble that, I want to connect to my team. I want to connect to these people, but I don't know how to.
Yeah.
How would you approach that?
Relationships take a couple things: time and intentionality. Those are the two big ones. And so it's just, you have to give it time. You have to be intentional day in, day out, conversation to conversation. Have a conversation with a purpose. I think a lot of times we just come into this conversation of, I'm just going to talk just to talk. But if you have a true purpose of, I really want to get to know this guy for a bigger reason, you will have a better conversation. It's just having those conversations with that goal in mind rather than just chaotically going over here, going over there with these conversations. While they're great, we'll oftentimes talk about things that don't really matter, and we never get past the surface.
Yeah.
We have to get past the surface. How do we do that? You have to be vulnerable first. You have to talk first. And so that's the hardest thing, is because people hate to be vulnerable. I think phones is one of the biggest reasons, because we can say whatever we want and never have to show face for it. And so we have to learn how to be vulnerable as leaders. And so just having that conversation of, hey, nice to meet you. Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. You lead the conversation, and then you talk about those things first. Like after you've got to know them on the surface level and you want to take it deeper of, hey, how are you actually doing? Be like, hey, bro, like, how are you doing? He's like, good. How about you? You'd be like, I'll be honest, bro. I haven't had a good week. This is going on. That's going on. This sort of thing. Are you really doing good? That opens up so many doors for conversation, because people are only willing to go as far as you go as a leader. Like, you can only take people where you've been. So you have to be willing to take the first step and go there before they're willing to follow you. So taking that first step of vulnerability and intentionality helps cultivate trust. A lot of times when people want to have a relationship with you, they ask a couple questions. Can I trust you? And what do you bring to the table for me? How can you benefit me? And so if you are a person that they trust and you show that you want to improve them as a human, as a player, as whatever it might be, like, they're willing to listen to you. They're willing to talk to you. They're willing to put their trust in you. So establishing trust right away and being consistent and being honest and responsible, being vulnerable, all these sorts of things that a leader's supposed to be to these people day in and day out, you're able to establish that relationship. And then it's furthering it. Once you've established it, take it and run with it. Get deeper. Hang out with them outside of the field. That's one of the hardest things that I've struggled with as a leader, because not being on the field limits me to time with the team, because I don't get to travel with them when they go on the road. And then sometimes I'm not at practice because I'm in class, like those sort of things. And then I'm involved in so many other things outside of school and baseball. Like, I have a Bible study almost every night of the week. So there's a lot of times where I leave practice, go in the locker room, change, leave, grab dinner, go straight to Bible study, like instantly. And I'm not sitting in there having those conversations. And so I've been like very convicted of that, of, hey, quit trying to rush through things so that Luke can have free time later, and sacrifice some time for these guys. Sit in the locker room, talk to them, play hacky sack. Like yesterday, I walked in the locker room, these dudes are playing hacky sack, and I'm like, sitting here playing hacky sack with these dudes shows that I care, shows that I love them, and I'm going to sacrifice some time. Like, I really want a nap right now, but I'm going to sit here and play hacky sack for the next 15, 20 minutes, because we're making memories, like we're bonding together, all these sorts of things that are so much more important than satisfying my needs and my wants and desires in that moment. So being willing to sacrifice for those people without them noticing or even realizing, and then you getting to have that conversation later. Yeah, I really wanted to have a nap earlier today, but I want to spend some time with y'all. I want to show that I care about you, and I want to show that I love you. So having those conversations, bro, like, they go so far.
Yeah, that actually makes me think of another question. Like I mentioned when we first started this, you're a big man of faith, like inspiringly so.
Appreciate that.
Now, what I know about being around sports teams, and baseball is no exception, is that there is not often, especially in those locker rooms, not a lot of holiness that's going on. And man, there's a lot of places where I do not show up well for my faith, with the way that I associate with my teammates, with the way that I associate on the golf course. I don't always show up in a very faithful way, and I'm actively trying to improve it. And you're a good guy to pick your brain on about this, because I don't know how you are in the locker room, But at least when I'm hanging out with you, like the room or something, the few times that you're actually in there, I know that you don't go back and take a nap because you're never in there.
Never there.
No, I always like you're like there, most nights you ain't getting back till like midnight or something. I walked in the room last night. I'm like, he's right there
I was
asleep.
out, bro.
I know. I was
felt
like,
good.
man,
It felt so good to get in
I
bed.
go
already.
back in there and I'm like, he's already here now. It's my turn to be quiet.
Yeah.
Coming in. Normally I'll get back. It's like 11. I'm like, yeah, surely he's in here. I'm like, oh no, I can turn the light on. I can do my stuff and go to bed. But so I know you actually go and do that because you're not there.
Yeah.
But how do you show up, be around them, engage with them, but still stay holy, still stay faithful, not using the language that they're using, not making the dumb jokes that they're making? Like, how do you show up and really stay grounded and anchored in the way that God has called you to be? Stay holy.
It's hard to do. It's really hard to do. If I told you I'm perfect, I'd be lying to you. I've had my fair share of mistakes. I've made my dirty jokes before. I've made inappropriate jokes. I've messed around, those sort of things. But hey, I'm human, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me is letting God change my heart to be more like Him and act the way He acts. Like, I pray a lot of times, God, reveal your character to me and then shape me and mold me into more like you, into the man of God you want me to be. And so understanding the rock that we stand on and where your heart truly is, that allows you to stand firm in the midst of those battles. And a lot of times people say, hey, flee from those situations, which I agree. You probably don't want to surround yourself by people like that 24/7 because community has an impact. But to show these guys that you care, you have to meet them where they are. And the locker room's a great place to meet them where they're at. If they're making the jokes, whatever, you do not have to get involved, but you can just sit there and be quiet and just let them speak and just show them that you're there, show them that you love them despite their falls. But I think one of the biggest things for me is making sure your heart's in the right spot, because James talks about if your heart is divided, you're like a ship that's going to be tossed by the sea, bro. Like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You're never steady. You're never constant. So letting God change my heart and His word penetrate my heart and have my eyes on Him every single day, that helps me stay rooted, helps me stay planted. Like thinking about how many people I lead right now and that I'm trying to push towards Jesus makes me think about how I'm living my life in every aspect. While I'm in that locker room, I'm thinking, okay, how would the 5 dudes, the 5 high school boys that I'm leading back home, if they acted the way I acted, would I be pleased or would I not? Because you become their example of faith. You become the standard of faith that people look up to whenever you decide to lead them. And so I try to act as best I possibly can for Jesus and for these other people, because you're not doing it for yourself. So keeping that in mind as you go into the locker room of, hey, you're about to go into spiritual warfare. You don't realize it, but you are. They're about to be blasting loud music that you do not listen to. They're going to be having conversations that you do not want to be involved in, but you're still going to talk to them. You're going to direct the conversation to something completely different. You're going to encourage some people. Hey, bro, great job today. You look good. You're swinging it good. Even though you're not getting a play, you're still swinging it. Keep your head up, bro. Keep going. Like those sorts of things of how can you just sprinkle Jesus in the locker room where it's full of worldly noise. And so that's where I find myself, is how can I have an impact no matter the surroundings that's around me? Because Jesus met people where they're at. He sat with sinners, but He did not let the sinners conform Him. He conformed them. Yeah. Because of the way He showed them love, because of the way He stood so firm on His beliefs, like, and who He was. He knew who God was. He followed God every single day. God transformed him. God lead him. So that's why he was able to do the things that he did. And the same thing's true in our lives. We have to let God lead us, because if we don't, we'll get it wrong. So I have to let Him lead me in every situation: the locker room, the field, the bus, the hotel room, walking to class, talking to these dudes in class, at the calf. So many times I fall short. So many times. But it's just, when you fall, where do you go? Because He's the shepherd and He's the gate. The devil's going to try and talk to you. The devil's going to try and tempt you. He's going to try and pull you this way. But where do you really go when you hit that spot? So turning to Him time and time again, and Him saying, hey, it's all right, because I love you and I have grace, I have mercy, I've given it to you. Because of that, you shouldn't abuse it, but you should take it and run with it. So that's what I try to do, is like, all right, God, like, you're the reason I'm here. Luke is not the reason I'm here. And so because of that, I need to live it out the way that you have called me to live. So I don't know if that helps much at all, but that's kind of where my heart is.
Yeah.
Like in that, keep my eyes on Him.
Yeah.
There's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Guys will remember later in life, all the core memories and that sort of thing. But if you're the one dude that sticks out and that they know they can go to in any situation in life, you've made a pretty huge impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I asked that because I got in a little bit of trouble at practice last week on Friday.
Yeah.
So we were on the last hole, and we played the back nine, and that was like the kind of unofficial part of practice. We weren't coach didn't have us keep track or anything, but made it 8 pars, 10 through 17. And I was like, where's this birdie coming? It's coming somewhere. 18 is a short par 4. I just absolutely mashed one up there. It's in the green side bunker, short-sided pin, but like the sand's nice and fluffy. Short-sided, if you're in the bunker, it's fine because you kind of get more spin out of the bunker.
Yeah.
I'm a great bunker player. And I'm thinking, this is going in. I don't know. You probably don't know this Jordan Spieth moment back in, I think, he did it at the Travelers. He had it in the bunker and chipped in to win it. Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad that you know that. And I'm like, I see the vision. It's there. And so I know my teammates are right here on the putting green. They're watching us come in. And I hit this beautiful bunker shot. I'm like, this is going in the hole. And it stops that close, like that short. It had the line, had everything. It was an inch short. And great shot. That's a birdie. We're shot bogey-free 35 on the back nine. It's a good score, good hole, but I just rip an F-bomb. I know, I do. Yeah, I do. I rip one. And teammates start busting down in laughter. They can't believe I just said that. I look up, and I see my assistant coach. I'm like, oh, no.
Done messed up.
Yeah. Thank God that our head coach was gone. He had already left at this point. And so as soon as I said it, I covered my mouth. I knew what I had done. I was like, oh, that's bad. So I'm walking up to go wrap this up, and I'm like, sorry. And he yells at me. He goes, not as sorry as you're about to be. I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we wrapped a few things up, and he was like, hey, feet up here, hands down here, 100 push-ups. Dude, just heart plummeted.
I'm sure.
And so I get down there, and then we ended up getting 55, and then he was like, you'll do the rest when I get back from this tournament. So that's today. That's today.
Them arms loose.
So, yeah, I got to do some stretches. So I got 45 push-ups when I get to the course today. But I say that to say just this honestly, I think it came from a lot of pride. I thought I had it, and it didn't go my way, and I started to act like a child. Just let one rip. And I'm just like, I'm not a quiet guy. I'm just not. I'm not a quiet guy. Yeah. This thing had some echo on it. It was a quiet golf course. It was the evening. It was dead. You could hear, unmistakable. Yeah. Like, there was no hiding it. And it's just me. I didn't make the shot. I should have had it. Why didn't I have it? Instead, even if it was a bad shot, I scolded over the green. The clubhouse is behind the green, so that's basically out of bounds from 15 yards away from the hole. And so even if I had done that, if I lived in humility, if I lived in a life that was focused on what God wanted me to do, staying called to His purpose, I was talking with a coach yesterday, a life coach, not a golf coach, and I was anxious over a situation. He goes, look, man, it's not your story. It's not anybody else's story. It's God's story. And so I step on the golf course, and it's still so hard for me to get over it. I think it's my story. Like, I think about it, this is my scores. This is what I need to be doing to do this, to play it on this level, to whatever it means, whatever that looks like for me. But it's not my story. It's God's story. And so in a situation like that, if it's God's story and He has jurisdiction and it's going to go exactly how He wants it to, how He needs it to, then whether I hit a bad shot or a great shot or whatever I'm doing in life, like, is it aligning with God's story? And am I aligning with God's story? Mm-hmm. And me missing a shot by an inch or two and blowing the F-bomb, that's not lining up with God's story. Yeah. And while I was doing these push-ups, he kneels down next to me. And our team captain got a video of this. I can show you. He's kneeling next to me. And he's, that stuff on your shoes. So I'm a part of this organization down in Dallas, Rise Up Kings, and I love it. It would really transform my life, summer of 2024. And so I've got one of the phrases that they'll have us do when we're doing push-ups down there is "Kings never quit," and like they have it on repeat. And so I have that on my shoes, and he kneels down next to me. He goes, "Is that kind of thing like what you just said? Is that what comes out of what's on your shoes there? Is that what comes out of that?" No, coach. And he didn't use a lot of words. He wasn't there lecturing me for a ton of time. He said a couple, 2 or 3 sentences, but enough to get the point across of, hey, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You are called to a higher standard. And it's not a standard that we as coaches have placed on you. It's not even a standard that you've placed on yourself. This is a standard that God has placed on you. And especially with everything that I am, everything that I'm trying to be, like as a Christian, with ministry, with this podcast, like if I'm doing stuff like that on the golf course, what does that say about me and how I'm showing up with this? Is this an act, or is this something that I'm really doing? And if this is an act, then I should stop with this episode.
Yeah.
Really. And I don't want to stop. So I've got to check myself. And so now I get another opportunity to go out there. When we had practice Monday and Tuesday, they were going for a tournament. One of our graduates last year, he came back to help out with that situation before we got another assistant coach to help with that. And so now this is my first opportunity since this event where I get to show up to the course, to show up to practice. I get to show them this.
Let's go.
And I got the message.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go do that.
Let's go. A word of encouragement, like some words of advice, like
Yeah.
be reminded of the blessings that he's given you before you step on the course. Take some time to reflect on that, because I've been reading through Isaiah, and if you look, Judah and Jerusalem are not living the way they're supposed to because they have lost the vision of God. They've taken their sight off of God. They've forgotten that he cares about them.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to do it all on their own, and they want more and more of these worldly things that are leaving them empty and running the opposite way from God. So I'd encourage you to take some time, reflect. All right, God, how have you been good to me? Thank you for being good to me. And what is my calling today? What is my purpose of being here on this golf course today?
Yeah.
How can I live in a way that advances the kingdom of God today on this golf course? It's not about my performance. It's all about you living for your glory. Because that's what your story makes me think of. What did you want going in that hole? A birdie.
I wanted the eagle. I thought well, going into the hole, I wanted the birdie, but on that bunker shot, I wanted the eagle, and I didn't get it.
That's what's crazy is you're like, man, I'm dying for birdie.
Yeah.
And the birdie opportunity's there, and now you're pissed because you didn't get an eagle. You know what I mean? Just a
Yeah.
little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and just see what more gets you to.
It gets me 100 push-ups.
Exactly right.
No, I didn't.
Careful, it gets you 200.
Oh gosh, because when he said feet up here, hands down there, 100 push-ups. That word went through my head. The first thing that went through my head, I was like, no, we don't want to. We do not want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, bro.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
for having me, bro.
Absolutely.
It's been a blast.
Dude, it has been. It really has been. I appreciate it. You have been a fantastic guest.
Thanks, bro.
It's easy because you said before we started that I'm a yapper. Me too. So I get like these introverts on here, and I'm just like, and I don't do it on purpose, but I listen back to the video. I'm like, I talked the majority of this episode. So I enjoy having a guy like you that will talk. Give me a break. And I get to just pick your brain about, get your thoughts. The people that have been listening for a while, they know my thoughts. They've heard it many times. So I really enjoyed having a guy like you that gets to talk, gets to share, and doesn't mind doing so. So I appreciated you on here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, bro. It's been so much fun.
Yes, sir.
It's been a blast.
Good luck at practice today. Good luck throwing again.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm praying for total health the next at least month and a half for you.
Thank you, bro.
At least.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
After that, we're fine.
After that, we're fine. After that, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
You go off and you do ministry at Cross Point, and you keep living the dream.
Yes, sir.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Living for His Glory. I had such an amazing time making it, and I really hope it connected and impacted you on a significant level. I love making and recording episodes like these. I truly believe that they fulfill the Living for His Glory mission, which is to help you break free of your worldly chains and step into the person that God has called you to be. I love you guys. I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I hope that it changes something about how you do this week. I hope you have a good day and a good week as we continue to get ready for next week's episode. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you later.